Lakers, you're up, also struggling a little bit. Seems a little make-ish, break-ish right now. They've lost 10 of their last 15. 15 of their 16 losses have been by double digits over the course of the season. All right, Chandler, I'm going to start with you on this one. As assembled, is this just going to be another disappointing ending to a season?
See, they're in almost the opposite situation as the Knicks. They're a talented team. They're going to win a lot of games, but the West is so good. There's no real light at the end of the tunnel for them. Like, the Knicks still have hope that we can get to the finals. Anything can happen. The Lakers, they got to go through OKC, San Antonio, Houston, Denver. Like, Phoenix is tied for, like, they have so many teams ahead of them right now where it's tough. Now they have enough talent. They've been banged up. They can look at injuries. We all know that the defensive pieces that they're looking at right now at the trade deadline. So there is ways to better their team. Austin Reeves will be back at some point, but it's probably destined to another disappointing season, just the way that this season's panned out, all the injuries they've been through, their lack of depth, the way they play too. It's very similar to the Knicks, where it's a lot of heavy ISO, it's a lot of ball dominating by one guy, and it's kind of just stand still around, and there's no flow really to their offense. So again, I don't want to panic even if I'm them, because they do have a lot, and they have Luka, and they have LeBron James, and they have Austin Reeves, but they need some help. And if they don't make a move at the deadline to at least get a spark going towards the end of the season, I think they're cooked.
I just think they are what they are. I'm looking at the Western Conference. I don't think they're better than the teams that's ahead of them.
They aren't.
So are they destined for another disappointing season? It depends on what your goals were. If you were realistic with your goals and understood what the landscape of the Western Conference is, maybe not. But if you feel like you have championship aspirations and I'm better than the Spurs and I'm better than OKC, you're going to fall flat with the roster that you have.
Like, is a first-round exit to the Nuggets a disappointing season?
Is it a real disappointing season?
Or is it what we thought was going to happen?
Or is that what's supposed to happen, yeah.
Like, is it what Chandler just said?
Yeah.
If it started today, the Denver Nuggets would be your matchup. If you lose to Jokic and company, is that really a disappointing season?
No, I think we'd all expect
so
that.
You got to manage expectation level. Like, I get it. The Lakers are a championship town team, and you better believe they're going to be active at the trade deadline to put them in that conversation. But as it stands, I think their record reflects who they are as a basketball team. They're right there in the middle.
Yeah, I think the Lakers are in a worse situation than the Knicks, and the reason I say that is, one, they're stuck in this place of trying to figure out what are they doing currently as a team, and what are they doing moving forward as a team. And it's a lot of glaring questions as far as, who stays, who leaves, what's great for the organization moving forward, what's not. So that's their own, that's one thing. And obviously, currently where they are as a team, they're just horrible defensively. Like, you're not winning a championship in this league without a top-level defense. So with all those issues on top of the biggest issue, which is just being a part of the Western Conference, I feel like if this team was in the East, they would have a legit chance to come out. Yeah. But, the West being as dominant and as rough as it is this year, it's just hard for this team to, be listed above those, the Denvers, the Spurs, the OKCs of the world. So, as far as this Lakers team moving forward, they have roster issues that they just have to figure out, not only for this season, but moving forward. And like I said, with no defense, it's no chance.
Yeah, it's crazy because Pelinka makes the big trade for Luka, which I think there's no doubt they won that trade, especially now given AD's circumstances. But now they have even more decisions to make. Do they pay Austin Reeves? Do they shop Austin Reeves? What's LeBron's future? Do we make a move right now to try and go get a Herb Jones type player to better our team? But we also have a fan base with expectation where we have to stay competitive. Right now they're competitive.
How do you know they won the trade? Like, what exactly does that mean? Because wouldn't the assumption mean you won because you're going to win championships now? Like, not the whole point of this whole game?
They have a guy leading the league in scoring, and the other team has a guy
being in a
that's
better
not playing.
position than you were in before you made the trade.
And they got a guy leading the league in scoring, and the other team got a guy that's now.
Are they in a better position?
Are they in a better position
than they were before? I feel like they're the same team.
They're in a better position.
They were positioned than the team than Dallas.
But they were.
I'm talking about as the Lakers were before they made the trade, and the Lakers who they are now.
Well, yeah, because I think
I
think they have Luka going forward instead of Anthony Davis.
But what does that mean?
But they're literally the same team.
It means the guy healthy leading the NBA in scoring.
I think
We have a guy that leads the league in scoring.
on two different timelines.
Well, I'm just saying, the guy literally.
It's still a middle of the pack
You're
team.
saying long term, you feel like they're in a better position.
Yeah.
Boogie is saying right now, they're not in a better position. And both things are fair to say. Y'all are saying the same thing.
I don't know that you can say long term they're going to be in a better position just because you have a guy that leads the league in scoring.
And the other guy that they trade for is not available.
But if the teams themselves are just, okay, cool, you guys are both hanging out right there in the middle, who won what?
But it's also a lot of questions to be answered.
Exactly.
How do you move forward post LeBron James? How do you build a team?
Which we can't even do that yet.
Exactly. So you still have a Hall of Fame player in uniform until you figure that out. This is what the team is.
So I'm saying I thought that trade was the big move. They have so many more moves to make.
It's like it just feels like nothing was done, yet everything was done.
But that's consistent with the Lakers. The Lakers are always in the business of trying to get better and trying to move players around. That's what they are.
What's more likely, Lou, play-in or Western Conference Finals for this Lakers squad? By the way, if we're talking on the other side, this one's half.
Play-in. They have the same record with the Suns right now that is currently in the play-in.
Don't yell at me. It was just a question I'm asking Lou.
Why haven't you answered it? No, do you have a different answer?
I listen, because I really believe that when you have a team with Luka and LeBron James on it, at some point something is going to click in. And I also understand how veteran teams work sometimes, especially when one of your better players is in his 40s. Like, this is cruise control until you get there. This is me being optimistic and just understanding how this thing works from time to time. I could be extremely wrong.
So finals or play-in, Lou?
Question.
Closer? I think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're a play-in team.
Okay,
Y'all
well,
hold on a second. No gotcha stuff. So
but here's why.
Try another angle.
You did say everyone ahead of the Lakers you think is better than the Lakers. Cool. Now let's go look at the Suns and the Warriors.
I think there is a huge gap between a play-in and the Western Conference Finals. I think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're a play-in team or a title team. I think they're a playoff
half
team.
from the play-in, and the other two teams are also winning.
I think they are a play-in team that gets the 7 or 8 seed and then gets smoked by the 1 or 2 seed. You think they're you think they're a top? You think they're better?
No, they don't guard.
I've already said it. I think they're a middle of the pack team.
So they're gonna,
and that's a huge gap between a play-in team and a
middle of the pack.
That's different. That's a different
middle 4 or 5.
I think they're a 5, 6 seed.
That's not middle of the pack. Middle of the pack is 7, 8 out of 15.
6, 7.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Hold on. You guys mean to tell me you think they're going to go to the Western Conference Finals?
No, I never said that.
More so than stay right where they are, which is play-in?
They're a game out of 4 where they've been sitting 3 or 4 all season.
But the question, you're not answering the question.
I am going to answer the question. But who have they shown me more consistently? They've been a 3 or 4 team more consistently than they've been a play-in team. When have they been a play-in team all season?
Right now?
They're not. They're a 6 seed right now.
I know, but the 6, 7, 8 seeds are both all or 3 are just right there.
Are they a play-in team today? Have they been a play-in team all season?
No.
Okay, so what I'm saying is
the team
on their
way.
But where they are,
if they lose tonight, they're a play-in team.
Right, but for 3 months they haven't been. Right. They've been a 3 or 4 seed.
I just think also the West is so good. That is a big hurdle for them.
I think it's more so about the West.
It's more of the conference than there is. Like Boogie said earlier, if they were in the East,
this would be a different conversation.
Listen, first of all, that's a wide range question.
That's a hypothetical.
Play-in or a title contender. Like, no, they can be actually who they are. They could be a playoff team that may lose in the first round.
That's why Thunder versus the Field was always a dumb question. That's why I don't like these weird-ass questions. I didn't make it up. Conrad, that's on you. How about this? Because you got Lakers fans, but you also have LeBron fans, and those are not necessarily the same groups of people. So LeBron fans starting to hit a wall, and here's why. They're basically saying that the Lakers have actually floundered the end of LeBron's career. Went from making the finals 8 straight years to 1 finals appearance in the 7 years that he's been here. Why don't we throw up a little graphic here that's going to make everything make a lot more sense? And I know that when Boogie Cousins saw this earlier, he was a little bit taken aback, because that's pretty dramatic. We'll just jump down. First round exits the last 2 seasons, swept in the Western Conference Finals a few years ago. First of all, your reaction to that, Boogie, were you shocked? Had we just not been paying attention? Like, how do we feel? Because it kind of.
I wouldn't say shocked. It just, it kind of brought a little more awareness to, the situation of his career in LA. So obviously he won a title, 1920. But for the rest of the time, it just hasn't really shown where, you know, he's been put in.
That's what I'm saying, that old.
Yeah, he's been put in the best situations. So, I mean, when you think about LeBron James, it should never be where he doesn't make the playoffs. You know what I mean? So, and it's hard for me to sit there and put that blame on LeBron. But to answer the question, do I feel like he finishes his career in LA? I don't. My gut tells me he finishes in Cleveland, and I think it just makes sense.
That's just
that's where the story starts.
It's kind of corny, though, no?
No, I think it's great. You know, that's where his story starts. Obviously, that's where he's from. I think that'll be the first team to hang his jersey up, obviously. So it just makes sense for him to end his career in Cleveland.
Does the championship outweigh the no playoffs twice and the first round exits, and also the bittersweet of making the Western Conference Finals and then getting swept? Does that all does that lessen it?
Who are you asking? Because I was asking you.
So
what do you think?
We're going to be interviewing you today. That's my question. Again, when I think winning one championship in 10 years, that is a huge accomplishment.
But not if you're a fan of LeBron James.
But if you're considered
else.
Exactly, and there's expectations again for LeBron James, there's expectations for the Lakers. But when you look at no playoffs 2 of those 7 years and first round exits 3 of those 7 years, that's tough. That's tough. And again, they had the one Western Conference Final and then the bubble championship, which a lot of people, like Beetle, I think there's an asterisk by it. I do not.
It's the
best basketball we've ever seen.
It's a championship in 7 years, so it's hard to look at that like a failure because at the end of the day, they got a championship. So I think.
By the way, I never said it's not a championship. It's just a half a championship. I've never said it doesn't count. There's a banner.
Does
Best basketball we ever seen.
The Spurs lockout year count?
Yeah, asterisk for a lot of people on that one too.
What about you?
Sure, because we had other ones that also count as full.
So do they, Beetle.
So I'll take it.
I'm holding Beetle to the fire today. I ain't going today.
I'm fine with it, by the way. No, by the way, this was part of the big. When LeBron decided to come and be a Laker, right? There were people that were very much split that will never accept him as a Laker, and then there are LeBron fans that are diehards to the end. So I think it's interesting that Boogie thinks he finishes in Cleveland. Do you guys agree? Like
I said that last year that I like the Cleveland idea just because again that's a good story. It's where he started
movie.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It makes sense, but. It's when you look at this Laker playoff history with LeBron, like is he one of the greatest Lakers of all time with this resume? No. So that's what I think when they thought it'd be much better than I guess what it is.
I think we forget how that story started though. When he went to the Lakers, they weren't competing for championships at that time. I thought that was very much a business move. Or
nobody even wanted to come to the Lakers.
He went no playoffs to a chip. That's crazy.
So I think we forget how that story even started. So, you know, fans can feel how they feel about it. I think you got what you wanted out of it. You did get a championship out of it. Now, did you have a perennial playoff successful team? No, absolutely not. But you got a chip out of it. And we didn't even see that coming.
And that's exactly why I said what I said. When I look at this, it just brings a lot more awareness to the situation. I'll never be able, with LeBron's history, I'll never be able to sit here and look at this and be like, this is LeBron's fault. I just don't think, outside of winning a championship that 2020 season, I don't really feel like he was put in a position to be successful with the Lakers.
But wasn't there a time when we all thought that he was sort of pulling the strings as to like when things were getting?
No, kind of, but like even like this year, add 25, 26,
some
first
of these
round
conversations
exit.
we talking about year like 17, 18.
I agree. Also, there's that. The calendar is also playing against LeBron.
You know, this isn't 25-year-old LeBron.
When we add one more graphic to that and it's 25, 26 and it says first round exit again, is that LeBron's fault?
It's everyone's fault.
I don't think.
But who are you going to blame? The front office? They brought you Luka. I thought that was supposed to change the way we looked at the world.
You definitely blame the front office.
Can I ask you guys a question?
They won the championship in 20 and he traded the whole team.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do we hold the Washington Wizards years against Michael Jordan?
No.
We go to the glory days. So listen, if you're afforded the fact that you can go 22
well, based on that, MJ's
the
best.
No, but I'm saying if you go 2 decades into your career, it's like what are we even criticizing?
I'll tell you what we're criticizing. You are just trying to put the Wizards in the same sentence as the Los Angeles freaking Lakers.
No, I love the fact that LeBron James still has a certain level of people wanting to see him do good or bad. Like,
heck yeah.
Yeah, when we saw Michael Jordan in the Washington Wizards uniform, we were just happy to see him hoop.
I don't think everybody was. I mean, we could have a guest on again this week.
He's 41 years old, and we're still like expecting him to like carry a championship.
Exactly.
Okay, we can't have it both ways. You cannot praise him because he's continuing to play at a certain age, but then when all of a sudden times get tough, you're like, well, but he is really old.
I just think expectations
I think it's
lower
more about
a
the
little
expectations.
Man, I'm sick of you young people and your LeBron love.
Like, you expect a 41-year-old to carry a team to the championship?
If you're getting paid to do it, yes. Yes, we do, actually. I'm not angry. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, let's talk some rate in the state of New York. Here we go. 8 of their last 10 have been losses. The recent home loss to the Suns on Saturday. Jalen Brunson's been out of the lineup last 2 games, did injure his ankle against the Kings, but that really is just the tip of the iceberg. Why don't we take a look at some of their rankings in the Eastern Conference this month so far? Worst record, worst defensive rating, worst true shooting percentage, second worst net rating, third worst assists to show, and third worst pace. Wow, that was a weird one. I don't even know where I'm starting, Boogie, with you, because you're the closest one to me. We've talked so much about them coming out of the East, but are we still feeling that way?
I mean, obviously, with everything that's going on with this team right now, it isn't great signs of them, you know, being the team to come out of the East as of right now. But the biggest thing with the East, as far as this season, is consistency. And they've been, up until this point, probably the most consistent team in the East. But, you know, I think a lot of their issues are starting to come, you know, to a head at this point. Obviously, I've been on record saying I'm not a fan of the small guard being the lead guard for a championship team. So obviously that's a glaring issue. I do think they still need another scoring punch. And also just figuring out the style of play as far as how do you want to use Karl Anthony Towns with this team. So, and also just, you know, really using his strengths to help this team improve. So I think it's a few glaring issues when it comes to this team. You know, to sit here and say which one is the most important as of right now, you know, I think, you know, to each his own. I think it's a coach's perspective, it's a fan's perspective. But with all that being said, they have some glaring issues, and they also got to figure out this roster moving forward.
Yeah, I still think they're competitive in the East. I still think they'll be there in the Eastern Conference semis or the Eastern Conference Finals. I do. I think they're that talented enough. They're getting some production from their bench, more so than with Tibbs teams. You've seen flashes from Clarkson, Shamet, Kolek. Like, they're getting stuff from their bench. It's just not enough. And certain times I watch this team, and Cat just looks so disengaged. They have to figure out a way to get him, I don't want to say motivated, but more aggressive, more dominating. And same thing with Bridges. And I know what it's like. They're playing with Jalen Brunson, who is phenomenal. He's one of the greatest Knicks already of all time. But when you have a guy with that much ISO and that much usage rate, it just kind of bogs down the offense and kind of creates frustration within that team. And again, Jalen Brunson's a great dude. I think people love playing with him, playing, you know, as a guy in the locker room. I just think that when the ball gets sticky like that, it kind of gets a little frustrating for the offense. So, which is crazy too, because their offense early on was so elite, and they just looked so good, you know, 16, 17 games ago in the NBA Cup. But they just got to find a way to be more consistent, because they have the talent, and now all of a sudden they have the depth, but it's still not enough. Like, it's a very confusing team so far.
So here's what I find fascinating about this, because they have not had a stretch like this since 1920. That was under Fizz, shout out Fizz. And then you get rid of Tibbs, and shout out Tibbs. A lot of people didn't like that. Now you got Mike Brown, and people love Mike Brown, but here we are. Shout out Mike Brown. These are 3 people that I actually genuinely like. However, there was a lot of crying and whining and fussing about all of the changes that were being made, whether you were for or against the firing of Thibodeau. I'm not sure, Lou, how we're supposed to feel about this right now with Mike Brown. Is this a coaching thing? Is this just a moment?
Yeah, don't panic. Like, it's a lot of basketball to be played, right? Like, we're not even at the halfway point yet, and we're ready to throw out everything, you know, when it comes to Mike Brown. Like, there will be an adjustment period, especially if you're trying to change the style of play and the identity of play, and you're bringing in a system that you want to constitute to make y'all play better basketball. You know, we're looking at a basketball team that plays a lot of ISO basketball, and they don't guard at the same clip. You know, you look at all of the defensive ratings and the offensive ratings, like, you know, the guys were talking about Cat, right? They have to find a way, Mike Brown has to find a way to get him more aggressive. Half of his shot attempts usually are 3-pointers, deep 3-pointers. And this is your 5. Now, he's one of the best big shooting men in the league. He's self-proclaimed, I'm the best big that can shoot the basketball, but Nobody can stop Cat when he puts the ball on the floor. Nobody stops him when he puts his back to the basket. Nobody stops him when he's 10 feet from the basket. But he's living and dying from the three-point line. And then you have Jalen Brunson, who's also an aggressive guard that likes to post up, that likes to play ISO basketball. And so outside of those two guys, you don't necessarily have the identity of an ISO basketball team. So if you're not making shots and you don't have the ability to make shots and put pressure on teams on the offensive end, it looks like it's leading to them playing bad defense, straight line drives, allowing teams to get into the paint. And any team that's going to allow a team to get to that paint and kick the ball out for threes or just lay the basketball up, it's going to be hard for them to beat anybody. So collectively, I think they have a lot of things that they need to adjust, that they need to fix. But I don't think you panic right now if you're New York. Look, 8 out of 10 in your last 10 are losses. That's not something that you want to see, but you're also still in third. That's also still something to be motivated by. You're still 1 game out of 2. Yeah. You're a half game out of 4. Like, you're still in the mix. You want to play better basketball, but the 2 teams before them are just in a roll right now, and they look crazy not being one of those teams right now, to me.
It's crazy when you look at the team ratings. They're the 4th rated offense still after this 10-game stretch. This third slowest pace. Like, they're playing slow. They're turning the ball over. They're not moving the basketball and making the next extra pass because there's a lot of ISO and a lot of heavy one-on-one.
Just one pass,
a lot of heavy
shot.
Pick and roll. Exactly. It's almost like just take turns offense, and that there's not a lot of history there with success. So when you look the 4th offense and I think the 18th rated defense, I would feel like those would be switched. Like with OG and Bridges and Josh Hart, those guys that can switch 1 through 5. No matter what's happening on the offensive end, they need to be a much better defensive team as well.
Think about this when you have a team like this with an identity of we're just going to rely on our guys to make shots, right? The last 5 minutes of a game in ISO, and you know that's not going to work. The ball never moves side to side.
Right.
It never goes side to side. They never get into a set where the ball is moving or ATO, something that can get them moving. Instead, they just continue to play ISO basketball. And looking at the teams that they played recently, the Phoenix, the Warriors, you can't beat teams like that. No. They're going to make you play on both ends of the floor, especially with the offensive identity that those groups have. And so when you have that and you don't match it, it's a recipe for disaster for New York, and that's what's been happening to me.
It's kind of crazy. You listed all those things. There's also 2 games away from being a play-in team. Like, that's just how wonky everything is.
They are lucky that Eastern Conference is not that deep.
No, it's a little bit nuts,
and
actually.
They should be lucky that it's early as well.
Yeah.
If you're going to struggle, if you're going to go through adversity, this is the time to do it.
I mean, it depends. Are we half full or half empty? Because we are halfway. Like, is that how we're looking at it?
I'm half.
If I'm in third place, I'm half full.
I'm half full.
Okay.
Just looking at the big picture of the Eastern Conference, I truly think I can compete against the Pistons and the Celtics in a 7-game series. Now I have to work to do, and I have to show how I can be more consistent on both ends of the floor. But every team behind us, 4 through 15, I truly think the Knicks are better than, and I know they believe that as well. And they've shown flashes of greatness. They got to get Cat going first and foremost.
How are we still saying that?
How are we?
Yeah, how are you halfway through the season still saying you have to get a player going?
All I remember is his comments.
He's a max player.
His comments during training camp was, I don't know his role.
Right off the bat.
Then his numbers go down. But then he's had big games. So this has kind of been just like a roller coaster for him. And again, he is too talented to have this kind of inconsistency.
But I think that also goes into their playing style. We keep talking about ISO basketball. If your identity as a team is ISO basketball, then your teammates, outside of the guy that always has the ball in his hands, your teammates are going to have up and down games because you're playing ISO basketball. He doesn't know when to expect to get his shots. He doesn't know where his spots are on the floor. So it makes sense. I think, and I've been saying it all.
Do you think
this is a playing style situation?
This is a playing style situation, or this is a Cat situation?
I think it's a playing style situation. So obviously, your best player is Jalen Brunson.
Correct.
Obviously, you need the ball in his
hand. He's one of the best ISO players
Absolutely.
in the game.
So but you're not going to win games with an unathletic, undersized ISO guard that only finds shots for himself and not for others.
So it's like
I think he's averaging a little under 5 assists.
But is that not what you knew what you were getting when you brought Mike Brown over? Or maybe they didn't know that's what they were getting? That may be true,
but it's still a playing style that has to be addressed because, yeah, you have one part of the puzzle piece playing at a high level.
Sure.
What about everybody else in the puzzle piece?
So it's the same conversation we have about Luka and James Harden. Now, can you win a championship with Jalen Brunson playing this way?
I think this question has already been answered 1,000 times.
No.
I think we've seen it 1,000 times. ISO basketball isn't winning you games.
Yeah.
I take that back. ISO basketball will win you games. It won't win you a championship.
Yeah. Well, also they play so slow. You said what, the third slowest pace too. So they get in the half court, and especially in the playoffs too, where you got to they're going to take away everything you do best. So now all of a sudden they're blitzing Jalen Brunson, and now they're trapping him at half court. Or have you seen even this last week? They're double teaming Cat in the post, and he's making horrific turnovers, and then the fans are getting frustrated, and the fans are getting more. I feel like the fans are frustrated with Mike Brown and Cat, and I don't know who they're more frustrated with. I think it's probably Cat because he's on the floor playing, but I just feel like Cat's going to be the scapegoat in the situation.
Okay, so wait, because I've seen this movie called Julius Randle before, so I'm wondering how does that play out with Cat? Is he going to be? Are we moving him? I mean, he's owed a lot of money.
I think they're on the phone with the Bucks right now.
Wait, really?
I think it's if you're what do you guys think? Do you think the Knicks right now after this 10-game skid? Did they say, okay, I'll give you Cat.
But they're third in the West.
I'll give you Cat.
That's the thing.
I'll give you
they are
Cat.
third in the West.
I'm about to say that's the problem is they still have a certain level of success right now. So
if you look ahead, do you really think they're better than Boston and Detroit when
I think they have a chance.
But again, when you're in the conversation, it's only one way to know. Yeah. We got to line it up in a 7-game series.
If you're a GM, you have to figure this out now.
But if I'm the GM and I'm sitting in third place and I don't see a huge separation between 1, 2, and myself, I'm not panicking. Even though I'm in a bad stretch right now, everybody is going to have some adversity.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. Everybody is going to go through something this season. So if I'm going to go through it, this is the time to go through it. That's why everybody's frustrated with Mike Brown. Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling? Because if I'm going to go through some turbulence, I want it to be before the All-Star break where I can make adjustments. Or we might be able to bring a guy in here or there. I can tinker some things or I can figure it out. Like, you don't want to have this problem in February, March, going into the dog days of the season. You want to have those issues now. So I still think it's salvageable right now.
I want to know what okay, so 57 and 61. Those are the next 2 seasons owed to Cat. Nice. Anyone here thinks he finishes that in a Knicks uniform? Boogie?
I think this is a make or break year. I don't think anything is done as of right now as far as them, making a big splash with their team, but when the off-season does come around, I do think those conversations will be had. And obviously the name that's being attached to this Knicks team is Giannis, and rightfully so. If any team has the opportunity to get a player like Giannis, I think at minimum they'll have a conversation about it. They'll consider it. So, I think this is a make-or-break year, and I definitely think, if it goes wrong for this Knicks team, this is a real conversation.
And the Bucks team, because talk about perfect time. They've lost 3 in a row. Like, they're also falling apart.
That's what I'm saying.
Time.
They're right in the mix with everybody else.
It's kind of the perfect storm right now.
I think the only thing, like Lou basically just touched on, that's going to keep the Knicks in a standstill is the hope that they can still get out of the Eastern Conference. Like, I swear, they think they're better than the Pistons. They think they are better than the Celtics.
Are they?
They have enough talent, and
Tatum's coming.
And so, like, I do think there's no reason to panic here, but you start looking at a dude that's 30 years old making that much money, I think they're answering calls for sure, but I don't think they're in panic mode just yet.
I'm a game and a half out of 2, and I'm a game out of 4. I'm not panicking.
But you're 2 out of the play.
You're also 2 out of 8.
Yeah, but listen,
crazy.
So you asked the question, do you look at the cup half full or half empty?
I'm a half empty.
I'm not looking that way. I'm trying to get to 2. And even though I'm 8 and 10 and I'm still where I am and I'm still a game away from second, if I'm the coach or if I'm in this locker room as a player, hey, bro, we in a bad stretch right now, but we still in the conversation.
So, like, I don't want to be a dead horse on the honest thing,
You always say that.
But so Cat and OG and a couple picks, who says no, Bucks or Knicks?
Nobody. Well, yes.
I don't think they give up. I don't think they give up.
You think they want more?
Correct. For Giannis? Yeah.
I don't think the Knicks give up.
Whoa. Oh. Okay.
Really?
I mean, I wouldn't want to give up.
I would think more of a Mikal Bridges.
Damn, that was expensive. That was an expensive turnaround. All right, fair enough. Well, look, everyone seems to be having weird times at the worst time or best time. Market 1 to market 2.